Hey guys, so this is the first episode of Freelancing Fridays with Arwa, and today we have Shreya Pattar on our show, and I'm so happy to have her. She is an amazing content writer. She has published over 4 plus ebooks. She is a full time freelancer and an agency owner. She helps companies sell their products and services through the power of her words. She also helps freelancers who are on their journey to success through her amazing content. So, welcome, Shreya. Like most of the people must be knowing you very well, like especially newbie freelancers. But for those of you who do not know you, like how do you introduce yourself?
Okay, so hi everyone. I am Shreya Pattar. I'm a content creator and agency owner, and you might know me through LinkedIn because that's where I hang out the most, I guess. And apart from offering services to my clients, apart from working with them directly, I also teach freelancing, and I think that's about what we're going to talk about also on this podcast. So I teach freelancing. I've written 5 ebooks, and they're all about how to learn how to start freelancing, how to make more money, how to conduct sales calls, things like that. And I'm looking forward to to doing this and being on Arva's first podcast.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I know, like, initially I used to follow you on LinkedIn, and then from LinkedIn, I started following you on Instagram. So I spend most of the time on Instagram mostly. So, like, how do you manage everything, like from Instagram to LinkedIn, and like, there are so many platforms. So, how do you
Yeah.
actually manage all things in process?
So I use 3 platforms mostly. I use LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram. And the content creation process as such is different for each platform. But I think the key has been to repurpose the content. It's the same piece of content, like the same fundamental core idea of the post, what message I'm giving out, but it's written in a different way. So
Hmm.
on LinkedIn, it'll be a longer caption. On Instagram, it'll be with a reel or with a picture, and on Twitter, it'll be a thread or it'll be a one-off thing. And it's different for each platform. Sometimes I create a reel and that inspires me to write some caption, and then that goes out on all platforms. Or some of my latest posts, which have done very well on Instagram, they were just originally 2 or 3 short tweets on Twitter. But
Hmm.
then I thought this is a good idea. I want to talk more about it. So I turned it into a longer post for Instagram. It also did well on LinkedIn. And then
Hmm.
again, I reposted it back to a Twitter thread. So, there's various ways of reusing content. So I'm not starting from scratch every piece of content. And yeah, so like I think that helps a lot when you have ideas bouncing off of your own social media accounts on all
True,
these
true.
different platforms. That's always helpful.
So, like, do you plan everything or like it just comes with the flow?
It changes from time to time. Certain posts, like let's say a promotional post for my ebook, has to be planned because I do some discounts on
Mm-hmm.
special times, or I'm releasing a new ebook. I have something to announce. Then it's usually pre-planned, just the dates and things like that.
Okay.
But otherwise, let's say if I'm shooting a reel today, I know that okay, I've put an effort to set the camera right and put the angle and actually
Mm-hmm.
step as well. So I'll shoot a couple of reels together that way.
Mm-hmm.
Twitter also, like, it's easier to schedule a lot of tweets together just because
Mm-hmm.
it's just easier if it goes up
Right,
automatically
right.
rather than tweeting like 5, 10, 15 times a day. So again, different for each platform, but there's not much pre-planning as such. Whatever is, if something from this conversation, strikes me as okay, this is something I need to talk about that I haven't before or that hasn't been clear enough, then you'll probably see it as a post in the next couple of hours or couple of days on my social media. So that's how it goes, just, as and how things come up.
So, like, as a freelancer, I know, like, even my mind works non-stop, continuously. So sometimes it's really hard to switch off. So how do you manage both the things? Like sometimes it's like it gets overwhelming and it gets exhausting sometimes continuously thinking about clients and work and Instagram and LinkedIn. So how do you manage personal life as well as like your content?
So since I recently moved to Dubai.
Yeah.
This doing has been much easier because I'm just doing stuff like especially on the weekends I'm out, or now I'm getting back into a routine because moving was a bit tedious, but now I'm getting back into a routine of
Mm-hmm.
going to the gym, cooking my own breakfast, making my own bed, cleaning the house a couple times a week, all of those things. So I think those things actually do take up a lot of headspace as well,
Hmm.
and it's a good distraction from the
Hmm. Hmm.
work, which
Hmm. Hmm.
to get out of lately. So yeah, I would say, that's one of the things that also if I go out on like the weekends, I avoid using my phone. Like I
Hmm.
probably won't on social media. If I have a post that I've planned that okay, I have an extra post as such, like extra that could be posted now, I'll
Hmm.
publish it. But I don't actively sit and spend too much time on social media on the weekend or
Hmm.
in my inbox. I barely check emails on the weekend.
Hmm.
I don't respond. Like all my clients are also like, they also prefer to have their weekends to themselves. So luckily, nobody has like,
Hmm.
bothered. I've not had to bother them on the weekend. So that's good. So I think it works out that way where I think, we're all aligned in the sense that we realize that the weekends are some sort of a no work zone.
Hmm.
So I just try to stick by that as much as possible.
So there are various platforms that have been coming up, like Fiverr and Upwork and like LinkedIn, as you are the LinkedIn queen. So which platform do you prefer in terms of getting quality clients?
See, any platform where you can directly engage with your clients is the best, and any platform that takes you out of that competitive space where everyone's bidding to try to get work from the client.
Hmm.
So, the issue with marketplaces, like, of course, people have successful careers even through marketplaces, but based on my experience and based on people that I have spoken with, especially based on people who are from India, freelancers from India,
Hmm.
it
Hmm.
becomes a entirely different game. So for in these situations, if you're pitching to somebody who has 100 other options or even 10 other options to
Hmm. Hmm.
consider, then usually what it comes down to is not really the quality or how established you are, how much how many clients you have. It doesn't come down to that. It comes down to how much you're charging, and in that sense, people tend to go with the most affordable option. So even if you want to charge $50 for something, somebody else is probably charging five for it, and that
True.
competition will always be there.
Hmm.
It exists, that competition exists, of course, worldwide.
Hmm.
Whatever
Hmm.
I'm, somebody will do it for 10% less, somebody will also do it for 10 times more.
True.
Uh, but the difference becomes that the direct competition is dismissed because when you are in direct conversation with clients, let's say on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on Facebook, on Quora. I don't know if Quora has an inbox option, but I've heard
Hmm. Yeah,
people
it
get.
does.
Yeah, so all these things, when you use all of these methods, you are in direct touch with the client, you are not competing, and you are
Hmm.
sort of, it's not that they are, usually it's not that they are putting out a request or saying that, what, I'm looking for something like this, but it's you who's going up and offering a solution. That's what cold pitching is about, right?
Hmm.
You're saying that, look, I understand this is what you're doing, but this is how I can help you do it better. And this is how I can help you save time or make more money or save more money or,
Hmm.
save your resources, whatever that may be. So, in that sense, there's a lot of difference between a marketplace and a platform where you have control over how much you want to charge, who you want to work with, and
Hmm.
whom you want. So that's why I recommend any social media platform. I don't have a preference as such. LinkedIn works for me, but any social media platform where you can connect directly with people, the decision makers, that's where you can make money.
So initially, when you were starting out, right? So even like a beginner freelancer, won't you recommend any of these platforms, or you would directly recommend going through like LinkedIn and searching for clients?
I would
Because
still
you
recommend.
don't have any authority at that time, right?
See, you don't need authority. What you need is confidence and that you can do good work at
Yeah.
whatever capacity. Okay, whatever you
Mhm.
think is your best work, you need that confidence, and you need somebody to work with. That's it.
Right.
In the beginning, work for free if you have to. Work with
Hmm.
one, three clients. Take like a 1 month project or even lesser, like a one-off project. Take two articles maybe. Take three social
Hmm.
media posts. Take two consultation calls. Offer it for free in exchange for a case study and a testimonial. That's all you need. And then
Hmm.
when you have that, that becomes a part of your portfolio, which you can then use to find your future clients. But when you're starting from a marketplace, it's very difficult to get out of it. You
Hmm.
might find it easier to get clients, but you might end up making only $100 here and then you get comfortable with making those $100 because you think, you know what, I can only charge maximum $10 to $15 an hour. That's the range.
Hmm.
But when
Right.
you are in an independent space where you decide, you'll realize that, you know what, now I'm charging $10, but to the next person I can confidently charge 20. Next person after that I can charge 30 because I know I'm improving, and I know that my rates aren't just out there for everyone to see. It's not like, pick
Right.
and choose. I understand your requirement. I create something personalized for you, and I'm getting paid as per the scope of work and the value I bring to you, not just based on how many words I write or how many pieces of content I can help you publish, right? So
Hmm.
that value factor also comes in when you step out of all these marketplaces. Again,
Hmm. Hmm.
competition will force you, literally it'll force you into being stuck within a certain price range, being stuck within a certain, kind of client, a certain kind
Hmm.
of
Hmm.
work.
Hmm.
Escape that. The best thing is to not get into it. Otherwise, in your head, even if you decide to use LinkedIn after 3 or 4 months, in your head you'll still be like, you know what, I was still getting like five clients every month on Fiverr or on Upwork.
Hmm. Hmm.
It I was making like $250, it's fine, but at least I was getting 5 clients. So you'll
Hmm.
always keep back to that. Which is
Hmm.
why I recommend, start from something that you have control over, something that can work in the long term, and
Hmm.
something that's valuable to you as well. You know.
Hmm. Yeah. Right. Right. So the next question is about how do you shift your mindset from earning like $100 monthly and going to like 5,000 to $6,000 monthly.
I think it's more about realizing that people are willing to pay you that much, first of all, because people are already paying that much to others out there. Like, there's so many people out there who are getting paid that much per client, per month, per week, maybe. So
Hmm.
there is, that's the first thing. You have to get over your own limitation that it's not possible, it is possible.
Hmm.
When is it possible? I think that becomes a question. So don't rush into it. Make sure your offer is worth that value and everything. Take it step by step. That's okay. Give yourself a year, maybe 2 years to hit that sort of a number. And I would also say that the mindset shift comes from just believing that you can do it.
Hmm.
Because it's easy to see and say that, hey, you know what, like it looks like everybody on LinkedIn is like a six-figure business owner, or everybody on Twitter has like $1 million. But I am not one of those people because I'm not in that situation. I'm not them. I can't do this. I can't do that. So you have to overcome that sort of self limitation. You have to
Yeah.
decide that, okay, what I want to do. If I need to make $5,000, I need to work with 5 clients, suppose. So, how do I find that 5 clients? You have to make a roadmap. You have to decide how much outreach you need to do. If you need to hire people, how many people you need to hire? How will you manage them? How much you plan to pay out? How do you plan to increase your offer, your service value? What does this look like? Like, by when do you expect that you can hit your first 5K month? So all of this has to be planned. It has to be done as per plan. You can't control the result, but you can control your actions. So work towards that with the belief and confidence that it is possible and that you can do it.
Okay.
That's,
That's awesome.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah, because many people have this confusion in their mind that I won't be able to earn that much. Like people won't be willing to pay. Why will they pay me that much? So I
Mhm.
think confidence is something that comes over time, like working with a lot of clients over the period of time.
Yeah.
So next question would be like your top productivity tools that you use.
I don't really use productivity tools. I used to until a couple months ago. I used to use this app called Forest, which basically kicks you out of your own phone. And if you start using your phone, then the app will go off. And the idea is that when you turn it on, a digital tree starts growing. So if you
Hmm.
start using the phone, that tree will die. And although it doesn't really matter, but it makes, it's something that
Yeah,
it shows you that, okay, you didn't do something that you promised yourself that you were going to do. So that's one of the tools that I think is pretty cool. Like,
yeah.
if you really with leaving your phone, you can use it. I don't struggle with it because I don't want to use my phone most of the times. So that way, yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the tools. Other than that, I don't think I use any productivity tools as such.
So yesterday I did a poll on Instagram and like I told people to ask questions. So there are two questions that came up. So, first question was, are there any alternatives to PayPal as it cuts a certain percentage?
You can get a direct bank transfer, but I would, say that first of all, based on where you are, your PayPal deductions are counted as a business expense. So they are, in taxation, you can consider that. Second thing, it's also about convenience because for some clients, making a bank transfer is tedious. Although
Yes.
bank transfer might also incur about 3 to 5% charges based on what bank you have, which country you're getting money from, etc. But if a client says that, look, we need to pay via PayPal, we don't really have another option, then it's worth considering a 10% cut rather than saying, oh, sorry, we cannot work together. So I
But
think that's,
do you mind including that 10% as well in the proposal?
I used to do that, but I realized that's not the right way to do it because you're still, it's still deductible. So the invoice amount itself increases. I would say avoid it, especially as the amount grows bigger, because then a 10% also becomes a huge amount. If you're charging like $5,000, as we talked about, but
Hmm.
then, 10%, if you're ending up charging, you need to charge more than 10%, by the way, if you want,
To
after
get the
deductions to get the
exact
original
amount. Yeah, right.
charge like 650, $700. Nobody's going to pay you like $700 extra to cover your transaction charges. So that's a business, that's like a business expense you have to take. You're running something, it's a risk you have to take as such, which is not a risk really, but it's something you have to take because otherwise, yeah, you're still getting paid, you're still working, and
Yeah.
that's like all these number things. It happens in every form, like no matter how you get paid. Um, that's just the part of making money. So unfortunately, you have to
Yeah,
be
but
happy.
at the end of the day, it all comes down to charging higher. So you do not even you do not feel bad if a certain amount is getting cut. So
I don't think it goes away. Like, yeah, you don't. It's not about feeling bad. It's about what can you do. If you have
yeah,
another option, there's Stripe as well. I don't know if it how it works in India, but Stripe is another
I
option.
don't think it is there in India yet, or I
Exactly. So you
haven't.
don't
Yeah,
have another. So you deal with, you take what you have, you use it,
because most
and
of my clients I use PayPal only. So yeah,
yeah.
that's the only option. And the second question was, how do you shift from charging per word basis to per project basis?
You stop charging per word. Like that's the only way to shift. You just stop doing what you don't want to do. And if
Yeah.
somebody asks you, hey, you know what, like Arwa, I need to know your per word rate. You say, I don't charge by the word. But can you tell me a little bit about what you're looking for? And then if they say, no, no, I only work on a per word rate basis, but you want to walk away from that, what do? You have to say, I'm sorry, I don't charge like this. My fee for, let's say, 1,000 word article is so and so. If that suits you, I'm happy to discuss. Otherwise, I'm sorry, we cannot proceed. So if you don't want to get paid by the word, you'll have to let go of projects as well that expect you to be paid by the word. And just, don't pitch it at all. Like if somebody asks you what's your per word price and you don't want to do it, don't think that, oh, this is the start, this is the, the beginning of the conversation. So let me just pitch and later I'll charge by the project. Don't do that. Pitch what you want to charge, how you want to get paid, because then there's a lot of difference later on as well. So yeah, if you don't want to get paid by the word, don't don't quote by the word. That's the only thing you can do.
Yeah, I think that's all for all the questions. And the last question that I would like to ask is one advice that you would like to give all the people who are just entering the world of freelancing.
I would say follow me. That's definitely.
Yeah, definitely follow her and buy her ebooks. I'll link it all in the description box.
Yeah. So because and also another thing that I recently talked about on social media was that you should try, like when you're starting out, you should aim to focus on what one person is telling you, because at this point there are so many freelance coaches, there's so many people teaching you freelancing, but like explore all the options, still learn from them. But when it comes to starting out, pick one person or two people and just follow what they say for like 3 months.
Sometimes they are stuck in the shiny object syndrome and they want to do everything. They want to do affiliate marketing, they want to do freelancing.
Yeah, exactly. So don't do that. Pick something, do it for 6 months to 1 year. I would say 1 year is a good amount of time.
Yeah.
Do that, only that. And do your research first. Like, don't pick something because you think there's, opportunity in it. Like drop shipping, for example.
Yeah,
A lot of people make a lot of good money in drop shipping, but it's not easy. Most of the people are not able to succeed in it.
yeah,
Whereas something like content writing, I've seen that a lot of people are able to learn it from scratch and do fairly well, because the profits are high.
higher.
Your in that way is low, whereas in drop shipping you still have particular costs that you have to put in.
Have to put
um,
in.
so pick wisely. Not to say that you can't drop ship. You can do it, of course, up to you. But just do some research, understand the investment, understand the time involvement, understand the trajectory, how you're expected to grow, how it's supposed to work. And then stick to one thing, stick to one type of advice, stick to one process, like cold emailing or outreach on social media. Stick to one thing for 6 months to 1 year, and then decide if you want to change gears, what you want to do, what you don't want to do. Then decide. But that focus and that commitment to one thing for like long term is super important. Do that.
Yeah, I think that's all for the podcast. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast with me, and I'm more than happy to have you as my first guest on this podcast. And I'll link all your links in the description box below, and you can also tell them about your ebooks.
Thank you, Arwa. So yeah, everyone, you can check out my ebooks. Arwa will put it in the link below. I have ebooks mostly about like freelancing, about LinkedIn, about sales calls. But if you're a new, if you're a new freelance, if you want to learn how to freelance, I highly recommend my ebook Freelancing Freedom, because it covers everything right from picking a skill to freelance in to finding your first client. And you can do all of this. Like there's a 30-day or 3 month, there's a roadmap as well to hit a certain income, and you learn everything you need to know. So I highly recommend that ebook. And yeah, thank you so much to Arva as well for having me. So I hope you like this podcast, and I hope you found something of value here in our discussion.
Thank you so much, Shreya. Thank you so
Thank
much.